Very good morning, everyone. A very warm welcome. How are we doing? I hope all stations joining in can hear me on a scale of 5.
Radio 5, Victor Tango Romeo Sierra Kilo.
So far, I'm highly impressed with the way everybody has been doing things. I can see almost everyone is on the right track, which is definitely an amazing sign. So, hats off to everyone. If you continue doing this, I'm expecting a transition with respect to the good things in your call. It will just become better and better. So, how's everyone doing? Very warm welcome, very good morning. We have a lot of us expecting a few more students. So, we have Prerit, Karishma, Vignesh, Om, Nukul, Jyotsna, Sajal, Sridhar, Ranvi, and Rani. I think we are missing Preetham, and I think we're missing someone else. So we will resolve couple of doubts that I've had. One of the doubts that we have got is on taxiway, you want to know the effect of brake on a runway. Effect of brake on runway is often called as braking action. Is the braking action good, optimum? It means, are you going to get the best impact of braking the aircraft or applying the brakes on the runway during landing or maybe during any other reason when you have to apply brakes. So, what are the situations you have to apply brakes? Generally, you have to apply brakes. Generally, you have to apply brakes during landing and during aborted takeoffs or during taxi when you have to bring the aircraft to an halt. Other than that, when the aircraft is parked, you need to be having brakes applied all the time. Here, the braking action is a element that generally can be transmitted to you regularly on your METAR or your special reports or similar to those reports. There could be SIGMETs. So there are a few ways where a pilot would be informed about this braking action. It could be termed as when you're on the runway, are you going to get the maximum impact of applying brakes? It means the braking action is good. What are the factors that will affect the braking action? It could be collection of water, it could be oil spill, it could be some other granules of sand or some other foreign object. There could be a lot of reasons. So, based upon the reasons that exist, there are numericals or numbers given to the braking power as experienced by the aircraft. Is it good or is it bad? All aircrafts will have their own brake powers from inside the aircraft. Here, we are talking about the surface of the runway. So if the surface of the runway is contaminated, chances are your braking action, the term used in aviation, will not be what you are required to have. So you take precaution and accordingly you decide whether you want to land or not, or whether you want to hold or whether you want to request for any other alternate runway and check what is the brake action for that particular runway. So I will give you a list that will help you. It's just like a readability scale that we have. Similar to that, there is a list of a few variations of braking action. Okay, so keep that parked until then. Second question we have, you have started engines. You have found one passenger shot from manifest list. Take action. So here we have to report that one passenger is missing. We are suspecting uh, some unlawful interference can be suspected, or safety of the passengers could be suspected. What if the passenger is unknowingly stuck somewhere in the cargo, or maybe in the landing gear areas, or maybe somewhere where we cannot find them? What if they are going to be in a situation where it is going to impact your safety? So you request to shut off the engines and request security to look for the passenger, and you'll hold until you get further instructions or updates from the passenger. You cannot take off, and until they find you, they will call you. If you are the passenger, they will tell you you have checked in and boarding pass and everything is issued. Why have you not boarded? This is that situation. It is not the situation where your passenger had decided to not check in only. So when passengers don't check in, we know they have not yet come to the airport, so probably they are not going to make it. So those are passengers who miss out the flights. But there are those passengers who check in, who book a seat and everything, select a seat and all, check in their luggage, but they don't board the aircraft. Sometimes don't check in the luggage, but they don't board the aircraft. So if you sense it's an pan emergency, if you're suspecting anything unlawful, then you can say pan. Otherwise, Mumbai ground, Victor Tango Alpha Lima Kilo, one passenger shot from total passengers on board, shutting engines down, request security to look for passenger. IFR Mumbai to Delhi, passenger on board, 119er, actual passengers on board 120, or required passengers on board 120. Something like that you say. I say again, shutting engines down, holding position, request security to look for passenger. And you can give instructions also. Passenger is a 37-year-old male, because you will have the list and you would have cross-checked. Everybody in the cabin crew would have cross-checked which passenger is missing, so probably can give some more idea about the physical characteristics of the passenger. There are more situations like this where they say during startup, you see a passenger has, is doing some mischief or being violent, or they have locked themselves in the lavatory, or they are trying to force themselves inside the cockpit door, or if they're trying to forcefully open the emergency door or the door of the aircraft. So all these could be reflected into pan, and if they are in terms with unlawful interference, then mayday. And you will hold position, you'll shut everything down, and you'll request security to offload such passengers. Sometimes some passengers would take something sharp and try to, threaten to, you know, do something wrong to someone else also, unless you give in to their requests, whatever requests or demands they have. So it's not a safe situation. So that call can go to pan or mayday if the passenger is armed. But then your assumption in the exam would be that you request for security. You have, um, you can say that you have contained the passenger. Okay. Uh, Generally, you must have heard about real life news where uh, many people have, tried to, put the mischievous passengers down because they were threatening to the safety of the aircraft. So here in the exams, if you feel a passenger is being very violent, they give you a situation, you can say that been able to restrain the passenger still using a lot of force. If you are in air, it's a pan call. You'll request for emergency landing. nearest aerodrome and to offload the passenger. Because we cannot take it lightly. The passenger could anytime be somebody who's actually determined to impact the safety of the aircraft because you never know, right, what happens. So we need to come back to the best decision to offload the passenger and let security take a look in. And if you're suspecting anything else is wrong, you should be vocal about it because you're the PIC. Okay, once again, everyone, warm welcome. Ayush, Suchita, Pritam. Again, I cannot see Pritam. Okay, Pritam is here. Jyotsna is here. So I hope, Sajal, it will help you make your calls.
Yes, sir.
What was your idea about these two situations? Please discuss. What were your gut saying?
First question, I was unaware about braking action.
Mhm.
And second question, I did same thing like used pan, shutting off the engines, request security on arrival. Three main things.
Say again the last point. Radio 3.
Sir, I used mainly 3 points, pan, shutting off the engines and request security on arrival.
On arrival. So you were assuming you are in air. Where were you? So second
Sir, on
question was
ground.
on ground. So security on arrival as in arrival where?
Sir, back to apron on a stand.
So you are assuming you are on taxiway.
Yes, sir.
So we need to specify that in our call.
Okay.
Yeah. So if it's in the question, if they're saying you are on taxiway, so you are on taxiway, so you'll request for taxi instructions to taxi back to apron. That is important. There you cannot shut down the engine. So students, if you're on a taxiway, then you will not shut down the engines on the taxiway unless there's a threat to fire, of course, threat of fire. So here, if you're on way ground in 123 on taxiway Charlie for runway 02, passenger from manifest is missing. Expected passenger on board 120, actual passenger on board 119. According to manifest, passenger is 37-year-old male. Uh, request instructions to taxi back to apron. I say again, request instructions to taxi back to apron and security to look for the passenger. Here you will have a delay, and in the next questions, you have to also account for the delay and see what are the next questions, as in, is the situation resolved or it is still not resolved? That will be key. Pan, if you feel you can say pan. If you don't say, it's fine. Passenger missing. Could be pan, could not be pan, could be mayday, depending upon what you are suspecting as a pilot. So you would have said pan. Why, Sajil, in this case?
Sir, because it's threat to safety.
Whose safety?
Sir, aircraft and passengers.
How?
Sir, because when passenger is missing.
So how will that result into safety issues? What will it impact?
So like as you said, passenger can be in the cargo or like.
If the passenger is in the cargo, so how will that impact safety?
So something like a bomb threat.
Bomb threat. So it will be a mayday call.
Okay.
If it is coming to bomb threat that the passenger missing could have a bomb and could be in the cargo, it's a mayday call then, right? Because it's bomb threat. Bomb threat on ground can be said pan. Generally in your list, we have said that. But he or she is missing and you're suspecting bomb threat, it should be mayday, immediate taxi to Dumble and instructions to disembark the passengers and bomb disposal squad. Because that is what you're suspecting. I would take that as a mayday and quickly taxi, and quickly there will be a distress fire. And all of a sudden, everything would change because if there's a bomb, if it could go off, then it could go off any time. No person would delay. Now, who is this person? Is this person trying to hijack the plane in future? Like, was he or she planning to hijack? We don't know. It could be bomb, it could be something else, or it could be just that the passenger is sick or has met with an accident that we don't know about. So if you're bringing it down to something like he or she could be a terrorist, if there's an unlawful interference, then you make a mayday call. You try to go with mayday in that case. If you're saying pan pan, then in your call you will have to explain what you're suspecting. That will get you more points.
Okay, sir.
So here it took you some time to come to bomb threat in cargo, but I liked your thinking. I was just thinking, what do you suspect? So when you think about it, you realize, okay, I'm thinking he or she is in the cargo and probably with a bomb. So that is complete situational awareness. Very good, Sajal. So you have to say all these things in your call, students. That's how you get more marks. You cannot just say pan pan, a passenger is missing and not express why pan pan. Is it pan pan because of the passenger is in danger or pan pan because we are in danger? We don't know that. So good. Remember that, Sajal. Anybody has any more questions that are unanswered, quickly discuss, then we'll get going with our practice. Vignesh, please go ahead.
Sir, in this question regarding this passenger missing, can we assume that passenger is in cargo, but he is not a threat or bomb threat? So he might lack oxygen when we climb up,
Mm-hmm.
as he is in cargo. So can we do pan pan with that reason? Because it is not threat to the aircraft, but it is a threat to that individual.
Yeah, you can say that. But anyway, you're on ground, so they have oxygen. But
Okay.
good, you're thinking about the passenger. Of course, you will not take off. If you would
Yeah.
have been in air, then definitely Pan Pan Medical would have been one, or Mayday Unlawful could have been second. I would have gone with Mayday and I would have asked to land quickly. And then on the sidelines, I would have said probably he or she could not be a threat, but could be in danger. So be on the lookout for that also. But primarily, I will advise every security personnel to look from the worst possible scenario perspective, and then also be careful about what if that there is someone who needs our help, so that we don't wrongly do something to someone who doesn't deserve. So basically, we'll be open to both, but we'll be more careful about the unlawful aspect. Because what if that person has checked in but has escaped somewhere else on the airport, got into some other aircraft, and is trying to possess threat to some other aircraft, or maybe going to hijack some other aircraft? Maybe who someone has suddenly dressed up, or maybe done any kind of trouble for us, because we don't know. We have to account. It could just not be that that person is not there, or is hiding somewhere in our aircraft. It could be that particular passenger sneaked through out on the airport and is trying to do something bad, maybe plant more bombs, or maybe hijack some other aircraft. So when you think about it, you don't know. You can only guarantee that I need to get off this aircraft, get my passengers off, because he might have very well hidden some bomb somewhere. So unless I have security to verify everything, I don't think it's safe for me to be in the plane generally. So for me, I will just get rid of the plane and get all my passengers out, and maybe probably let this aircraft be subjected to inspection thoroughly while we wait for another aircraft for our departure. And probably, if somebody is suspecting that there would be danger to other aircrafts, then no aircraft will be allowed to take off unless thorough security check is done. At the same time, if people are suspecting there could be bombs, then every passenger will be evacuated first. Simultaneously, all the security personnel will come. So this becomes a big situation where everybody, every flight, everything will be cancelled and everything will be frozen. Even arrival flights will not be allowed to come. So it could lead into anything with respect to what the real situation is. For us, we can simulate an initial part of it, and we make sure our quality is good and our logic is good. So with respect to that, pan can be said. Students, see if you have any more questions. Think. I want everybody to talk, discuss.
Sir, I have another question.
Mhm.
If that in a question it was stating that ATC is occupied, so in that case, can we just raise the station and get their attention, or should we say pan for more attention?
Sorry, say again. And what is the situation here?
Uh, I'm on air and I'm on downwind, and it's a training aircraft, and the ATC is heavily occupied because of traffic. I need to turn left in base leg and to again take left for finals. And in that case, I need to get clearance to turn to base leg.
Uh-huh.
So in that situation, as the question is stating that ATC is occupied, it is just a statement, or can we just call the ATC and ask for left turn to base leg?
See, when you're a part of the ATC circuit, you don't really need clearance. You have to just report what you're doing, what you're doing, what you're doing, because the way you have been sequenced, you are where you are supposed to be. You just have to report it. Now, what
Okay.
to do when your ATC is too busy? You can say you're calling that ATC and you are experiencing interference, or you can call the next ATC and tell them that this ATC is unavailable. So I'm transmitting this to you that I'm on downwind runway 32, turning left for base leg. Uh, ETA Mumbai 0105. Like that, you could say that I'm expecting to land and everything. And you can just report. Either you report it to this ATC, present ATC, and say experiencing QRM. It means it is so busy that I'm experiencing interference with other people talking to me. Or here you could say, you'll call the next ATC and you can just say that this ATC is unavailable. So you can say Mumbai ground, Victor Tango Alpha Lima Kilo, downwind runway 32, Mumbai tower unavailable due channel busy, aircraft downwind runway 32, turning left for base leg. Will report when on finals runway 32, like that. So this is what you're supposed to do, students. You come to conclusions and you see, okay, channel is busy. I cannot talk. Either I interfere in between and say I'm also experiencing QRM, or I say I go to the next ATC and just tell them this ATC is unavailable. I'm doing so and so things. If they'll be like, no, you're not allowed to do it, then they'll ask you to deviate or something. So if something is wrong, if you're not safe to turn left or do anything like that, then they will definitely what do we say? They'll definitely tell you about it.
Yeah, inform. Yeah. Roger, sir. Victor, Victor Tango Romeo Bravo Victor.
Think about it, student. Pritam, tell me what's on your mind.
Sir, what will the call for expedite departure?
Expedite departure, you need to depart on priority, especially when you have some priority handling. Your priority handling could be that you have a very important person on board. You have some president, prime minister, some people from the United Nations, or maybe you're flying for search and rescue, or maybe for some natural calamity relief. Maybe you are flying an hospital flight, transporting passenger from one place to another. Maybe you're carrying some organs for transplant, heart, kidney, blood, anything that is of time importance. There you need expeditious departure generally. Generally, if you have had some delay and your FIC is just about to expire, probably, then you would be required to expedite, but not at the cost of safety. So STS, code for special handling. STS means special handling. So when you have such situations, you can request for expeditious departure. Expeditious is a generic term. It means do everything fast, fast, fast on priority. Yeah, Pritam, go ahead.
So if the reason is not mentioned, can we give our own reason?
You can give your own reason. It should be not over the top. It should be realistic and applicable to the situation. So generally these reasons, they are given to us in a flight plan. We need to take the hint from the flight plan. If you have to assume, what would you assume? Where would you take the reference? The reference should be from a flight plan. Okay. Are you understanding?
If I'm serving with Delta first, yeah.
So what would be your situation here? Tell me.
I would say VIP on board.
Of course, you don't have to assume. It's obviously given. What else?
Our flight plan is going to expire soon.
Mhm.
There is a like
Your flight plan doesn't expire. Your FIC expires. Your flight plan becomes invalid. Okay? Don't say expire. FIC expires. Clearance. Every flight plan is approved with respect to an issue of clearance. Clearance will be the FIC numbers that are your clearance numbers, flight information clearance. FIC is in sync with FIR. FIR regions, are major regions. And the offices are called as FICs, flight information centers. So this flight information clearance number comes from these FICs who are regulating FIRs. Do you think about it? It's good, right? So yeah, Pritam, few more points. Students, do you have any more doubts? Students,
so we have to
sorry, students, carry on. But students, whoever is willing to give practice part 1, raise your hands, okay, everyone? Yeah, Pritam, go ahead. Somebody else was also talking. Please go ahead.
Getting delay for departure.
What about getting delay for departure?
Maybe there is bad weather, so the aircraft is hold for a long period time. So it is possible to uh, have permission to
Say again, Nukul, clearly, and wrap it up.
sir, if the aircraft is hold for bad weather, so then they were getting delay to departure, so they can
Expeditious handling.
request for the expedition handling.
Yeah. So you don't really need a special handling. Generally, the word startup on priority is related to special handling calls. So with respect to your doubt, Preetham, I would like to add, and Nukul, you're rightly saying this. The point is, even when you are having a delay and you have some priority handling, then you can say request expeditious handling. Expedite is a common word. It means to fasten things or do things fast. Okay.
I guess we can also mention that if there is a bad weather coming to our route, so we need expedite departure so that we can be on that route before the weather arrives.
Expeditious departure due bad weather arrives. Of course, you can request whenever there is time and ATC can handle. You can always say, give me expeditious handling. But generally, you'll request for expeditious handling when you have a valid reason. So you could say that, yeah, I want to avoid bad weather, I want to go. And it doesn't make sense. But yeah, you would be given 2 weather reports. One will be METAR, second will be your terminal aerodrome forecast. So in the forecast, if you're expecting bad weather, and right now, if the delay is only due to traffic, not any other reason, and if I take a couple of more hours delay, there will be bad weather. Probably because you're doing VFR or training flight, it would be highly impactful to you compared to any other aircraft. So in that case, definitely you can say that request expeditious handling. We are training flight. So always there will be some guiding reason that you need to mention. Generally, it will be a part of your flight plan only. We have to be careful with respect to what we say. Somewhere the hint will be given to us. What else, students? Think.
So I have a doubt in intercepting call.
Uh-huh.
Which things we have to mention, like position and uh, other things, like what exactly?
Everything. What do you mean by interception? Is it the interception with respect to fighter jets?
Yes.
So you have to give position report with respect to whatever position elements you have, no choice. Radial, DME, flight level, estimates. But generally what happens here, if a fighter jet is intercepting you, it doesn't mean that they will intercept and they will go back. They will be with you. It means that you are required to comply by the instructions that they give you. So ideally, how do you communicate with them? Generally, they will rock their wings like this. It means you have been intercepted. Whenever you have been intercepted, it's a mayday call. In this call, what happens? You say, I have been intercepted. This is my position. Whenever you have intercepted, it means you have entered prohibited area. So you say inadvertently entered prohibited area, been intercepted by a fighter jet on our left. Last known position was over Alpha 474, 15 DME outbound, so and so VOR. This was my radial. This was my flight level. Estimates and ETA, IFR this to this. We are all Indian nationals on board with Indian crew. Following interceptor. So the intercepting aircraft, the fighter jet is called interceptor. Request further instructions. This you announce to your original ATC and you say it's a mayday call. So here you see, you explain the situation and you have to give your position elements. So there's not much that you have to miss. But in such calls, in examples that we have taken, if we have not said other things, it doesn't mean you cannot say those things. Here the emphasis is majorly upon what are you doing, what is happening with you. Why are you intercepted? Because you might have unknowingly, that is inadvertently, entered prohibited area. It means you have to follow fighter jet, otherwise they will shoot you down if you don't follow them. What are you required to do as per the rules of the air? Students, all these points are given to you in rules of the air, and try to find it. Okay. But I'm explaining it right now. You have to tune into the civil VHF civil aviation emergency frequency. You are required to tune into 1 to 1.5. Interceptor, the fighter jet, will also tune into 1 to 1.5, and then they will talk to you. They will identify themselves. They will, you have been intercepted. Okay. So you will say interceptor. This is Victor Tango Alpha Lima Kilo. We were flying IFR Delhi to Mumbai. We are all Indian nationals and Indian crew on board. Inadvertently entered prohibited area. Request further instructions. We are following you. Like that. They will ask you to do a few things. They will say Victor Tango Alpha Lima Kilo, and they will take their call sign. We don't know what their call sign is, or they can simply say interceptor. Victor Tango Alpha Lima Kilo, interceptor. Why are you here? Or are you lost? Or why are you off track? Or they'll simply say follow us and set course, or tune into this frequency for arrival guidance. So they'll give you a special frequency. You can tune into that ATC. That ATC will be defense ATC, and they might guide you while they are also rocking. They are also guiding you. Like they are also with you only, but you will be following ATC, setting course and landing at the defense aerodrome, and they will get the security and get everything checked, subject you to investigation, do a lot of background check, and until and unless everything checks in, they will not set you free again. So a lot of things go with respect to these things. In your call, what are you supposed to do? Mayday, mayday, mayday. Delhi Control, Air India 123. Correction. Delhi Control, Victor Tango Alpha Lima Kilo. Intercepted by fighter jet on left. Inadvertently entered prohibited area. Last known position over Alpha 474. 15 DME outbound Jaipur. Flight level 350. We are following the fighter jet, or we are following interceptor. Unable to establish contact with interceptor on 1 to 1.5. You could say that. That I have tried, but I cannot communicate. They are not tuned into this frequency. We are all Indian nationals and Indian crew on board. I say again, we are following interceptor. Request for the instructions. So do you get an idea on this? Victor Tango Romeo Sierra Kilo. Is it
Affirm,
gonna
sir.
help you build your call?
Affirm, sir.
Good, good, good. Any more questions? Nothing? Om, what are you asking? Please verbally ask. Is takeoff leg or upwind are similar in ATC circuit? Yeah. In only in couple of textbooks it's wrongly given. Upwind generally is opposite to downwind, you could say. But takeoff leg and upwind can be considered the same. Generally, we move into the wind, so wherever the wind is coming from, we choose the opposite flow of traffic. So that way, if you're going like this, then this automatically becomes downwind, this direction. Base leg, finals, takeoff leg. This is crosswind. Some books, this is written as upwind. Some books, takeoff leg is written as upwind. So you can consider takeoff leg and upwind to be the correct pattern. What else? Now we have a question, why do we need FIC when we have ADC? FIC is required for all aircrafts, domestic and international. ADC is required only for international aircrafts. So FIC is primarily important. ADC is secondary important for international airlines, aircrafts. Yeah, Pooja, what are you saying?
ये एडीसी डोमेस्टिक एयरक्राफ्ट मतलब जो डोमेस्टिक फ्लाई करते हैं ना उसके लिए भी यूज होता है कि
See,
क्लियरेंस ही नहीं मिलेगा
wherever it's required, generally ADC is important with respect to international planes. Air defense clearance is separate from FIC clearance. So we are talking about two different clearances. Now, generally in certain areas, if you're doing a domestic flight, they might require you to have air defense clearance because the airspace might be having defense as a major authority over there. So Pooja, what are you saying?
कि एडीसी नहीं होता जनरली हमारे यहाँ क्या होता है कि एडीसी नहीं होता तो उनको क्लियरेंस नहीं मिलता
Yeah, so there
टेक
it's
ऑफ क्लियरेंस
compulsory.
भी नहीं होता
So there it's compulsory, but it's not compulsory everywhere. It is a matter of which aerodrome you are at, and those aerodromes, generally many aerodromes like Pune, Delhi, Lucknow, they all are regulated majorly under defense criteria also. So there you might require ADC clearance, of course.
सर नहीं सारी फ्लाइट के लिए जो
That's what
सब
I'm
जगह
saying, na? That's what I'm saying. It might be required. It is subjective. It might be required in a place for all aircrafts. It might be required, but generally in certain areas, FIC will be enough if ADC is not required to be had. Do you understand the difference between these 2 points? Pooja, are you there?
यस सर
Do you understand what I'm trying to say? The difference.
नेगेटिव
What I'm trying to say is there will be special requirements that you have to issue your ADC also. Then you have to get your ADC. Do you understand the difference, student, what I'm saying? So if
सर
you are if yeah, Pooja, carry on.
क्योंकि मैंने मेरे सीनियर से वो पूछा तो उन्होंने बोला था कि एडीसी सब फ्लाइट के लिए ये क्या लगता है, अब एडीसी नहीं होता ना तो उनको टेक ऑफ क्लियरेंस भी नहीं मिलेगा। कि मेरे सामने भी दो इंसिडेंट हो चुके थे कि जिनके पास एडीसी अपडेट नहीं था ना, जिनके ब्रीफिंग शीट में, तो उनको टेक ऑफ क्लियरेंस नहीं हुआ मिला था, वो डिले हो गई थी फ्लाइट दोनों।
Okay, I agree with you. सही बोल रहे हो आप. Wherever required, students, if you don't have your clearances, you will get delays. So you have to talk to your dispatch, tell your dispatch to get you your fresh ADCs and fresh FICs. ADCs and FICs, a simple thing. Whenever clearance is issued, you will get a number associated with that clearance. Alphanumeric codes generally. In exams, a basic simulation is enough. You can assume the code to be one letter followed by three numbers. It's just like how airline codes are. What else? Think about it. We have another question. FIR and RADA are they same? FIRs are FIR boundaries, regional domestic air routing areas. They are similar to MWARs, but they are for domestic areas. So generally, when we talk about these frequencies available, we talk about Chennai FIC or Chennai FIR, Mumbai FIR, Delhi FIR. So with that respect, we can assume that the FIR regions are similar to the RADRA. We can say that, but the definitions will be different and they will be individualized. Are they similar? We can say, yeah, they act similar because the frequencies for FIR used are the RADRA frequencies only, but not necessarily the same frequency. We can also use MWARA frequencies in certain FIR regions. So they are not the same, but they are similar in certain aspects. We are getting good questions. See, anytime your real life experience will help you understand and get better clarity. Like when you start working, like Pooja is sharing experience, you get to see realistic things. And if you have studied a few things, you'll always go back to what you know, what you get to know. So sometimes you get to know through the process of the company or the seniors or through our work that we are taught to do in any company. So there's always a lot to learn. We have to learn and we have to like observe and we have to verify our information always. So, okay, ADC, how do we get ADC? So I would do that then. Okay. What about FICs? FICs there or not? Or is just ADC that they have? Is it a repetitive flight plan? Is a common FIC is issued? And do we require fresh ADC in those situations all the time? Why am I not aware about it? Why are domestic flights needing air defense clearance also? Is it everywhere or is it just at this airport? So this is how we learn, you know. This is how you learn, and this knowledge helps you grow wherever you are doing a job or working. I've seen many pilots who have been waiting to get a job even after their type rating is done. I've seen many such pilots, you know, try to get a job in dispatch here and there, and eventually they get a job in an airline. So how do they do it? You know, they get into an airline, some other part, and they get knowledge and information and build contacts. So their knowledge, whatever text-based knowledge, is only supplemented with real life. So the gap is filled. The gap between no experience and experience. So it's a good thing. I like when anyone who's working, they are relating things with education. That's how I prefer doing things, you know. Teach what we experience and experience what we learn, you know. So Sajal, Suchita, Jyotsna, Om, Preetam, Zanvi, Rani. You all are ready to take calls. Vignesh is also ready to take calls. Papa Kilo Mike is also ready to take calls. Good. Prerit, Ayush, Sridhar, Nukul, Karishma. I hope everything is good at your end. So you're done with the resolving questions. I'm very happy with your performance. Very happy with the discussions. So what do we say? Yeah, be very careful with your calls. And I'll start the question. I'll share the question paper. I'll say you can start transmitting. I'll start the timer. The person's call sign that I take, that person will have to start. Okay? Others will observe, learn, we'll have a quick discussion. Okay. So let's get started. We'll simulate a realistic experience. And once the call is done, you'll send me a log. You all remember the exercise, how to do it? You will think of yourself and you have to come up with your best solutions. Today, I am expecting less and less confusions with respect to everyone. Yesterday, we all were not getting the right answer. Today, I'm expecting that no matter what the PIC simulation student does, everybody has to be like, okay, sir, I knew this, I could have done it. So when I come to you and ask you about, okay, what would have been your call, you be ready with your call. So, sir, I had written it then only. I'll read it out. And then you read out that call. Then I'll tell you whether it's perfect or it's where is it, and everybody could benefit from it. Okay, let's do this. Okay, students, we're just calling out your names. Be ready. Okay, so students, I hope you can see the paper. And the pilot in command today, Victor Tango Juliet Yankee Oscar. You can start transmitting. The time starts now. Victor Tango Juliet Yankee Oscar, acknowledge.
Affirm, sir.
Okay, fine.
Hyderabad Tower, Victor Tango, India, Golf, Quebec. On taxiway Charlie. Informed about bad weather over Nagpur till Ottawa. Requesting to cancel departure. IFR Hyderabad to Kolkata. disregard, Hyderabad Tower, Victor Tango, India Golf Quebec, on taxiway Charlie, hospital flight, informed about bad weather over Nagpur till Ottawa, requesting alternate route for departure. IFR Hyderabad to Kolkata, flight level 330, Airbus 321.
Victor Tango, India Golf Quebec, Hyderabad Tower, continue taxi to holding point runway 27. Standby for rerouting clearance.
Continue taxi to holding point runway 27, standing by for rerouting clearance. Victor Tango, India Golf Quebec.
Victor Tango, India Golf Quebec, Hyderabad Tower, re-cleared to Kolkata via Whiskey 41, Whiskey 29er, Vishakhapatnam, Whiskey 9er 0, Alpha 465, Charlie, to Kolkata. Flight level 330.
Re-cleared to Kolkata via Whiskey 41, Whiskey 29er, Vishakhapatnam, Whiskey 90, Alpha 465, Charlie to Kolkata, flight level 330, Victor Tango, India Golf Quebec.
Go to next question.
Bhubaneswar Control, Victor Tango, India Golf, Quebec. Rerouted through Vishakhapatnam. Disregard Bhubaneswar Control, Victor Tango, India Golf, Quebec. Clear of weather over Nagpur till Ottawa. Would like to rejoin direct correction. Rejoin via Whiskey 49er, Ottawa, Golf 450 to Kolkata. Flight level 330, IFR hospital flight. Requesting rerouting clearance.
Go to next question.
Mayday, Mayday, Mayday. Jamshedpur Tower, Victor Tango, India Golf, Quebec. Three zero DME outbound Jamshedpur. Correction. Flight passing. Flight level 1. Correction. Flight level 150 for flight level 70. Got a bird hit. Aircraft is suspecting structural damage. Difficult to controlling the aircraft. Requesting force landing. Correction. Requesting top of descent on priority. Requesting firefighting services and emergency medical services on arrival. Airbus 321, passenger on board 150. Mayday, Mayday, Mayday. Kolkata Tower, Victor Tango, India Golf, Quebec. 30 DME, outbound, Jamshedpur, passing flight level 150 for flight level 70, got a bird hit. Aircraft is correction. Aircraft suspecting structural damage. Difficulty to control the aircraft. Requesting force landing. Straight on runway 27. Requesting firefighting services and emergency medical services on arrival. Passenger on board 150, Airbus 321.
Okay, go to next question. Please submit your log. It's now. So how was the experience?
Sir, it was good. Look, I could have done better in the first question also. Like first I was thinking something else, and then I thought it is wrong. Like in first question, I have requested for the canceling departure. Then after I've disregarded the call and requested for the alternate. I was thinking I should have cancelled the departure, but I thought it was an hospital flight, so it must be an emergency. That's why I've requested for the alternate. And so in second,
So if you knew you have to request for rerouting, then why did you first make a departure call?
it's a cancellation of the departure.
So why cancel? Did you not look at the next question also? If it was cancel, did you not get a hint from the next question? And you said that afterwards you realized you don't have to cancel because it's a hospital flight. So if you realized you don't want to cancel, then you requested for rerouting. So why did you not do that in the first call? Why did you first give a call for cancel departure?
So, the cancel departure because I thought I have not read the second question, and when we get the before departure, when we have informed about the bad weather ahead before the departure, then we have to cancel the departure and we have to wait for the space to open, the aerodrome to open up. The weather to be get clear, then we can. I thought that.
So how do we fix that? Students, in the exams, if we assume something that is not going to be helpful, then even after giving a call, we might not get correct marks. So how do we fix that issue? Just now, how do we fix that? Because remember, I have said this before also. Your mission is to transport the payload from point A to point B safely. For that, you need departure. Before departure, your ultimate priority is always your departure. You need departure requests. You need to go on departure. You cannot cancel departure. If you look at the question, okay, there is a big stretch of bad weather from Nagpur till some waypoint, Ottawa. What are they hinting at? They're saying you report your intention. Does it not mean that I cannot go to Kolkata? It means I can go to Kolkata. Probably I'll take a different route. Do I have a different route? Yes, I have a different route. Whiskey 41, Whiskey 29er, Whiskey 41, Whiskey 41, or Alpha 465, however the connectivity is. So yeah, I will go to Kolkata. It's my mission. Anyway, you were right about it. It's hospital flight, so I need priority departure. Special handling, just what we were discussing. So my mission, situational awareness, is to transport the payload, especially because it's a hospital flight. I might have some blood, I might have some organs, I might have a passenger, I might have a doctor. It could be any of those things. Hospital flight. So my point should be, why am I canceling departure? Am I not interested to fly? Is it not my job to fly? So that realistic realization we need, which came to you, it should come to you quickly so that we don't leave any room for error. Okay, very good. What about second and third? Second also, Jyotsna, very good thinking that you thought that, okay, I have to rejoin. But you don't have to rejoin because you have not deviated. You were re-cleared. So now you are rerouting again. So for you, your primary route right now is the one assigned by ATC. So over Bhubaneswar, you realize, okay, let's go back. It will be safer for me to join Golf 450. Chelsea would like to proceed to Kolkata via Golf 450. Would join Golf 450 over Jamshedpur, estimating Jamshedpur, so and so time. Request rerouting clearance. And then you can give revised estimates to make sure that this route is helping you reach Kolkata faster. So good thinking in that respect. I was very happy to see. But why are you associated it with bad weather related only? Here it was re-cleared, so here you'll not say rerouting, you'll say rerouting, of course, but you will not say rejoining Golf 450. You will only rejoin a route when you deviate from that route and then rejoin again. Here we had never got that route because we were re-cleared. So students, it's a very first time experience for everyone where you see before departure, if you're informed about bad weather en route and you see the stretch of bad weather is too high, then what do? You try to reroute. You propose a route and probably you'll be cleared before you're given a takeoff clearance. So for you, the departure clearance would change. For you, your initial climb instructions would change. But you would reach on a desired estimated time of arrival. That is very important. Question number 3 also, Jyotsna, what happened? Jyotsna, see, one thing I want you to know, your quality and technical points of the calls are very good. They are clean. You're not making many mistakes. Whenever you're making mistakes, you're using correction or disregard. I like that. But why to make so many mistakes? And using the word requesting is not professional. We don't say requesting. We say request. Requesting is not a standard word. We say request. No matter how many times you have to say, it's fine. But we have to shorten our calls also. We have to have a continuity in our voice. So grammatically, it was very good, but the flow was not consistent. You were speaking, there was a gap, you were speaking, there was a gap. So the speech length and the gap length were almost identical. The gap was small, of course, but it was as good as the speech length, very close to that. It should be lesser. Whenever you're speaking words, the gap between words should not exceed the sound of the words itself. Only then we understand you're speaking more and not having dead air. So for that, because you were writing, I can see you are writing, waiting. So maybe you have to speak a little slower to match writing speed. How will you fix that? So we need to polish your call right now. Your thinking is in the right direction. What to do is coming to you. Now we need to fine tune the call by shortening it and only speaking the important points that are required and using urgency in my call. Why am I calling should be said. Generally, when we are going slow, when we don't have good flow over our rate of speech, if a call is lengthy, it sounds weird to the listener. We don't want to go through that. So we make sure our calls are spick and good, tight calls, small calls, but a little fast. So for you, I think technically you're in the right direction. Coming with plans is also correct. Now executing those plans with respect to developing fluency, this is the final stage of learning. So I'm very happy to see you on this stage. I think if you do a little more revision and a little more practice, you will be there giving me perfect calls because you have figure out the intent correctly. With respect to the Mayday call, because you were in the situation and you were not experienced in the situation, your call was like this. So I really like how you are trying to give original calls. Although somebody could say, sir, the call is not perfect because it doesn't sound great. I would be like, but it is original. The student is not following any script. So this is how you grow. You call Mayday, Mayday, Mayday. And initially, one of the calls when you said Mayday, you said something and then you said Mayday. There was no use of correction there. So it was a little tricky for me to understand. Whenever we say disregard, students, let's say I say Delhi control, disregard. Who is saying disregard? So we say Delhi control, and if we realize we called the wrong ATC, we say Delhi control, Victor Tango, India, Golf, Quebec, disregard. So we say, okay, Delhi control, it was me, disregard. Okay, fine. And then I start my call. So use your disregards perfectly. I'll appreciate, but you have to use it perfectly. So Jyotsna, what's on your mind? Do you understand the feedback, basic feedback given?
Affirm, sir.
Any disputes? Any good and bad, anything? Is it going to help you and not?
So it will gonna help me, and I will work on it.
So you call Jamshedpur Tower. The call had to be gone to Kolkata approach ideally with respect to looking at the chart. Carefully look at it. Where are we? We are in between the dotted blue line and outside Jamshedpur CTR. And we see that even not Kolkata approach, we are going to talk to Kolkata control in this case. Because approach will begin from CTA. And the CTA, I'm between CTA and CTR right now. CTR of Jamshedpur and CTA of Kolkata. See, I'll show it to you, everyone. So for me, where am I in this situation? As per the question, how many DME outbound Jamshedpur? Sajal? How many DME outbound?
0. 3
Sajal is not there.
Sir, it's 30 DME.
30 DME. So I'm somewhere here. Okay. I'm passing flight level 150 for flight level 70. Now I'm here. This is the CTR, this dotted line, CTA. CTA is flight level 50 to flight level 460. CTR, okay. Kolkata has tower, approach, control, ground. So I'm going to talk to control only because I'm here and this is within the control boundary only, no matter what the flight level is. So Jyotsna, why did you call Jamshedpur tower? You were thinking of landing at Jamshedpur itself?
From sir, I was, matlab, I thought I was behind Jamshed. I'm not thinking about the outbound word. Matlab,
Yeah,
I've neglected that.
it happens. We are outbound Jamshedpur. So yeah, it would be Kolkata control. Forced landing was correct if you have structural damage. You can say aircraft difficult to control. You said that. Here I would go and make emergency landing at Kolkata only because I am inbound Kolkata. It's a hospital flight. And I have some altitude to lose. If I'm unable to maintain altitude and all and not able to control, then probably trying to set course to Jamshedpur will be more difficult. With respect to going to Kolkata, Kolkata is straight in for me. Secondly, here Kolkata tower is also not the right ATC, but you tried to change the ATC. So whenever you're confused, you just try to raise the ATC. Mayday, mayday, mayday. Kolkata tower, Victor Tango, India Golf, Quebec. Like that. And see if somebody is responding or not. Force landing, you don't say requesting force landing. Requesting, please avoid the word requesting. Students, don't say requesting, say request. And don't say requesting force landing. We'll be making a force landing straight ahead as aircraft is difficult to control. Force landing generally will happen when you lose both engines or your elevators are stuck most of the times. If your elevators are not stuck, then you can at least pitch up, pitch down the aircraft. And ailerons, if they are not stuck, then you can turn right or left. Rudder stuck in a twisted position would deflect your aircraft in the wrong direction. So that way it will be difficult for you to maintain the center line of the runway. So structural damage could be with respect to primary control surfaces, or it could be something to do with the radome, maybe wingtip, wings, or maybe the fuselage somewhere. Structural damage, it's a mayday call, emergency landing at the nearest aerodrome. It's a hospital flight, and because you're not too far off from Kolkata, you can decide to go to Kolkata here. Make an emergency landing at Kolkata because structural damage due bird hit. Okay, request immediate descent. Passing flight level 150-470, request immediate descent for an emergency landing at Kolkata. I say again, hospital flight. Request emergency medical services and firefighting services on arrival. Aircraft has suffered bird hit, suspecting structural damage. Aircraft difficult to control, you could say. Here, forced landing, then we can avoid. So forced landing, especially when some of the control surfaces are going to impact us. Overall thinking is in the right direction. We need to fine tune it. So Jyotsa, you have any doubts or questions? Think. Do you understand the differences in what you're supposed to do ideally and what you have done? Kolkata control will be better option here first. And
Yes,
here
sir.
the rate of speech, your calls were clean, but rate of speech was like breaking and starting, breaking and starting. So it tends to stretch a lot because the gap that we have is too high. So that reduces the pace of a call. So we need to just do that. We need to just try and practice and we need to listen and write and speak. So students can send me some voice notes of your calls when you're writing and speaking, and you can also listen to those voice notes. When you're listening, you realize whether you have fluency or not. It comes with practice. Victor Tango Delta Alpha Sierra, what's on your mind?
Yes, sir. For third question also, I first called to approach. Then I wrote down the calls. Then after that, I realized when I checked the chart that we have to we have to call the control. At first, I also called to the approach only.
So we are jumping to conclusions. We need to wait for our mind to jump to conclusions. I know it's difficult to do it. Generally, we are unable to control our minds. Generally, we are controlled by the minds. This is where education kicks in. You try to control the mind. So you don't jump to the wrong answers. Wait, because you realize when you are rushing, you are making mistakes. When you don't rush, when examiner is not saying go to next question, you are getting time to correct it. So now why not correct it in the first place itself? So the error should be made in the mind and rectified in the mind. When you perform, nobody should know, nobody will know that there was an error. Only you will know it. And good that you have rectified the error in your mind only. It never came out in reality. Sajal, what's on your mind?
Sir, when do we use I say again in such calls?
Anytime when I have to emphasize on something that I've already said again, for clarity and emphasis, I can say I say again and explain the situation. If there's been some time that I've said the situation and I'm explaining the position and intent. So I want that they are reminded that I've had bird hit and I'm suspecting structural damage. So I want to repeat that again. So whatever I'm repeating, I will use standard words. So whatever phrase you think you have to repeat, you can say I say again.
Roger.
There's no fixed rule where you will say it. Wherever you want to repeat something, you can say it. Right, Sajal? Is there any point of conflict here?
Negative, sir. Right.
Students, leave the suffix sir. Say negative and end with your call sign. Say positive, say end with your call sign. Roger, end with your call sign. Please, time and again I say practice RT like this. Delta Alpha Sierra, do you have a question?
Negative, sir. Victor Tango Delta Alpha Sierra.
क्या बोला अभी? Negative sir, sir नहीं बोला है ना? Students, I want everything RT now. Anything that is not RT should be avoided.
Affirm Victor Tango Delta Alpha Sierra.
Very good, thank you. Exactly what I'm looking for. Very nice. Papa Kilo Mike, correction. Victor Tango Papa Kilo Mike. Even I'll try to use realistic calls. Please tell me what's on your mind.
Sir, question number third. Call will go to the Kolkata Prashna.
I just explained on the chart why approach. I'm outside approach. See this dotted line is approach line CTA. But I'm here right now. So I'm within Kolkata control.
But flight level is start from 200.
It's okay. It's all right. You have no other option right now. You will be talking to Kolkata control only. If you are saying the flight level is 200 onwards, okay, let's say, and you have 150 to 70, then who are you talking to? You're not even in touch with approach also, right? Then why choosing approach, not control? So when you're not even in approach, not even in control, then you try to talk to control only by default.
Okay.
Now here, chances are you were already given or handed out to approach. If you were handed out to approach, then definitely approach would have been there with you. But here we cannot make that assumption because we have to call the ATC. So here we are not even in approach. We are within control, but here the fraction of control is not matching. The fraction of control will get the least priority here then. We have to go with control because none of your fractions are matching right now. Will you call Charlie control here? No, because you are within control. So within which control? Kolkata control. So you can talk. Students understand communication will physically be possible between all ATCs and the aircraft because it's all line of sight. So you can talk to everyone. Just that you're supposed to talk to someone else for clearances and safety. So initially, our mind can trick us to call approach or control because we are requiring more clearances now. And because we are having an emergency, we are choosing it a better decision to call control and inform them about it. because they can assist everybody in the traffic so that we get importance. So they are aware. And then, of course, afterwards, approach and tower are going to talk to you. Or probably only one ATC will handle you. Depends. If you are confused students in the exams, you can try and talk to approach and raise the station, see if they respond. Control is the safest bet over here. Pooja, any doubt?
Negative Victor Tango.
Sorry, station calling, say again, call sign. Too far.
Victor Tango. Negative Victor Tango Papa Kilo Mike.
Very good. We cannot be that fast in the exams. Okay, so we'll do one more simulation. Students who are ready, please raise your hand again. Okay. We are going to use the same question paper like yesterday. Now the student who is going to give this has some advantage. Let's see how it goes. So the timer starts now. And we are doing Victor Tango, Papa Kilo Mike. Here is the question paper. Going blind.
Same question paper.
That's what I just said. Timer has begun, okay?
Hyderabad Tower. Victor Tango India Golf Quebec on taxiway Brow for runway 27 ATC inform about severe bad weather over Nagpur till Ottawa. Would like to reroute via Visakhapatnam to Kolkata. Time now is 1150. Estimating common pet 1205. Crossing whiskey 1. Correction, whiskey for 1. 1215. Estimating Visakhapatnam 1225. Ismon 1240. Kakid 1250. Charlie 1300. Legas 1315. ETA Kolkata 1335 request rerouting clearance.
Victor Tango, India, Golf, Quebec, Hyderabad Tower, continue taxi, rerouting to Kolkata, approved, standby for departure clearance, report reaching, hold short, runway 27.
Wilco rerouting approved. Correction. Standing by for departure clearance, will report reaching hold short runway 27 Victor Tango India Golf Quebec.
Go to next question.
Bhubaneswar Control Victor Tango India Golf Quebec over Bhubaneswar 15 DME Abim Bhubaneswar Alpha 465 flight level 330 time now is 1245 would like to rejoin Golf 450 over Kinki will rejoin Kinki direct over Golf 450 estimating Kinki 1305 Jamshedpur 1315 revise ETA 1330 request rejoining clearance Airbus 321 heavy IFR Hyderabad to Kolkata, passenger on board 05 hospital flight.
Go to next question.
Mayday, Mayday, Mayday. Kolkata control. Victor Tango India Golf Quebec 30 DMing outbound Jamshedpur radial 095. Time now is 1320. Passing flight level 150 for flight level 70. Suspecting structural damage due bird hit. Request priority landing. Hospital flight request emergency medical services and line maintenance on arrival. Airbus 321 Heavy IFR Hyderabad to Kolkata. Passenger on board 05.
Victor Tango India Golf Quebec. Kolkata control. Roger Mayday. Kolkata aerodrome closed due major fire. Priority landing not approved.
Roger Mayday. Kolkata aerodrome closed due major fire. Priority landing not approved. Would like to divert to alternate Jamshedpur via Alpha 791 ETA Jamshedpur 1350. Request permission. Victor Tango India Golf Quebec.
Go to next question. Please submit your logs. So, Victor Tango, Juliet, Yankee, Oscar, how are you feeling now about the same experience?
So now it's got cleared, more accurate.
Victor Tango, Juliet, Yankee, Oscar, in your call, initially when you started, I could sense that you were a little hesitant. Were you nervous?
A little bit, but not very.
Yeah, I had sensed a little bit of, sorry, I sensed a little bit of nervousness, but when you gave a read back to what the ATC had said to you, then it was interesting to see that your rate of speech and confidence level had risen and your nervousness was reduced. Did you feel that?
From Victor Tango, Juliet, thank you, Oscar. Sir, you're on mute.
Yes, 1 second. Okay, students, sorry for that. थोड़ा आपको breather बिना बताए breather ले लिया. So you were saying, Jyotsna, that you were feeling the difference. उसके बाद आपने बोला I'm on mute. Yeah, I was on mute. I got an urgent call. Okay. So, ठीक है. Pooja, how was your experience?
Good, sir. At least can overcome my nervousness.
I liked your call. Jyotsna, I liked your calls. We have already spoken about areas of improvement. Pooja, I liked your calls. Very crystal clear calls. And I can see that you are trying to build some energy and some urgency in your call. That is what we want to see in the exams. Very good. I could see you were taking efforts and constructing the call. You were focusing your rate of speech, your choice of your vocab. Everything was good. I really appreciate it. Logs are also fine. Jyotsna, your logs are also good. Try to not avoid words that are not RT words like permission, request permission. We don't have to use the word permission, students. So आपने एक जगह use किया था last में. Please don't use it. You don't have to say Roger made it. Okay. You have to remind them that you are having a Mayday, but you can say Kolkata Aerodrome closed due major fire. Priority landing not approved. Would like to divert to alternate Jamshedpur via Alpha 741 ETA Jamshedpur. Request
Alpha 791, sir.
whatever the route. And your don't say permission. You can say request descent or request instructions to set course or request clearance. Anything, not permission. And good decision otherwise. Good readback given. Initially, the call started was not structured because we were thinking. So I can see making calls is not a problem. Giving a readback is where you're building up your strength right now. I like that. Good use of priority landing. You were supposed to land at that priority landing was fine. Line maintenance on arrival, even if you don't call for maintenance, it's fine. They will come by default. Firefighting services was missing. It means you're suspecting fire also. So that should be there in the pilot's concern all the time. Line maintenance is not going to help you with emergency evacuation. So it doesn't make sense here. But maintenance team can be requested if you have a short transit and you need to get something checked.
सर अभी बर्ड हिट हुआ तो स्ट्रक्चरल डैमेज में फायर कैसे लगता है मतलब मुझे कुछ ये नहीं लगा क्या रिलेटेबल नहीं लगा इसलिए मैंने लाइन मेंटेनेंस बोल दिया
Line maintenance you can avoid here, even if you don't use it is not highly relevant here. Line maintenance people do minor maintenance only, not major maintenance anyway. Your aircraft maintenance or subject to repair will be different. Right now we need emergency help. We need help with respect to evacuation, medical support, and support with fire. Now why do we request for fire here? The reason we are not able to relate is because it's not directly related. Okay, structural damage. So maybe I have a dent in the fuselage, or maybe I have some problem on the structure of the aircraft. But that problem could result into turbulence. Structural damage could be to my wing also. It could cause fuel leakage. Structural damage could be on the engine also. It could increase the chances of engine damage. Engine damage could result into fire. There are many things that could result into fire. In this case, if I'm making an emergency landing, in an emergency landing, when the aircraft is difficult to control, if I assume those two things, then anything could go wrong while landing. If I'm not doing a stable landing, then my structural damage could increase in a way that aircraft can catch fire. Aircraft can anytime catch fire, students. Engine is burning, the fuel tank is just above the engine. We need some leakage from somewhere, and the whole thing could catch fire. So we generally say firefighting services because during landing, the tires can also catch fire. If we are overspeeding while landing aircraft difficult to control. So firefighting services, they also don't just have. Now, if an emergency landing is there, we'll always think fire can also happen. It just comes in handy. So we have to request medical and ambulance and firefighting services because those are two aerodrome search and rescue or safety machines, transport vehicles like that. Line maintenance is not a part of that. It's a good thinking, but here, due to emergency landing, it is not making more sense. But other than that, I see a lot of strengths in the call. When you started Mayday, you said something fumbling, and then Mayday, that fumbling was a little there. Otherwise, it was a very good call. I see a lot of perfection elements in the call. Very happy to see this. You said revised ETA, no need to mention revised ETA, but then you didn't say ETA Kolkata. That was missing. Okay, revised, good thinking. You could say if you are thinking there was a delay something. But ETA what? Kolkata was missing. And again, rejoin used. I just explained we don't need to say rejoin because we never deviated from the route. Would like to join Golf 450. Okay, instead of rejoin, join. For you, you are joining this route for the first time. You don't have to say time now is. Is can be avoided. Time now 1245 or 1245. You can just write 1245 here also in the other question paper. But the way you said it, it sounded fine. Don't say is. Good thinking. 15 DME Abim. Very few people can spot their position on charts this perfectly. Radial is missing. Jyotsna, your calls also radials were missing. Here radial. You are some radial. Probably if you are Abim, with respect to this chart, then your radial is 180 Jamshedpur.
Yeah,
Because
sir, I
from
forgot to
Jamshedpur-
mention
Yeah, no
radial.
problem. No problem. You said a lot of good things also. So these minor errors, here also these minor errors are not going to help you lose a lot of marks. You will see that. Here, good way of thinking. You gave all your estimates also, ETA also, request rerouting clearance. Very well done. I like
Yes, I didn't mention the route.
it's okay.
So
You tried, it was good. It can always be perfect, of course. Crossing whiskey 4-1, I didn't realize when are you crossing. So whenever we are saying crossing, it means we are crossing a route. One route is like this, other route is like this, and you're going to cross this route, like intersect.
yeah,
it.
estimate crossing.
So crossing was not the
Should
right word. You could have said, would like to reroute to Kolkata via whiskey 4-1, whiskey 2-9er, alpha 465 to Kolkata, and then you could have given estimate. So first we start with routes, then we can give estimates, and then ETM. So here it was good. Again, don't use is, time now is. Common page 1205. Crossing, we don't say crossing like this. Whiskey
estimate
4-1.
crossings.
Here there is no
We can
crossing.
say.
Here crossing is not happening. You're not listening. What is crossing? If this is common page, okay. If this is whiskey 4-1, and if this is Hyderabad, and if you go straight, you get Vizag over here, right? And then you go straight, and you're going to Charlie. And there's one more waypoint, Kashmir,
Sir,
and there
नहीं
is
एक
Isman.
विस्की 41 राजा मुंदरी से जाता है ना एक रूट विस्की 41 जो एग्जैक्टली विस्की 29er को क्रॉस करता है इसलिए मैंने क्रॉसिंग विस्की 41 बोला एस्टिमेट बोलना चाहिए था
नहीं,
मैंने
correct नहीं था, correct नहीं था. Estimating common weight 1205, and then you could have said intersection whiskey 4-1 and 2-9er. But generally आप ध्यान से देखोगे यहाँ पे, if you are carefully looking at it, then you don't, yeah. So you could have said that estimate. You cannot say crossing whiskey 4-1. But students, remember whenever you are about to cross a route, okay, whenever you're supposed to cross a route and there is a route like this right now, I can see like this. So this route is in concern here. Whiskey 4-1 is mentioned here. So this is crossing. With respect to that, Pooja, you were in the right direction. Very nice. Estimating crossing, intersection whiskey 2-9er and whiskey 4-1. But then where did 2-9er and 4-1 come from? It will be very difficult to explain because we are following 4-1. But where is 4-1 changing to 4-9er? So 4-1 is Hyderabad to Kamanpet. Then Kamanpet to Vishakhapatnam is whiskey 2-9er. And Rajamundry to Bhubaneswar is also whiskey 4-1. So probably Kamanpet to Rajamundry, a route is attached that is whiskey 4-1. Probably, or maybe not. So we have to be very careful. So you were in the right direction. You're thinking rightly. Credit goes to you. Vizag. Other routes were not named. Request rerouting clearance. So ATC gave you the clearance. Standby for departure clearance. You said Wilco and there was some gap. So you have to remember, you have to understand your readbacks are very important. Your readback should be perfect. So here you will say, continuing taxi. This acknowledgement I didn't get. Continuing taxi, or you can say taxing to runway 27 on taxiway Charlie. Rerouting to Kolkata approved. Standing by for departure clearance. Wilco will hold short runway 27. Wilco for report reaching, and they are reminded hold short runway 27. Don't enter runway, but departure clearance will be given to you when you're holding short. So here my readback, what I'm expecting, it was a very good readback. I'm expecting perfection. So in perfection, I would say taxing to taxiway runway to correction, taxing on taxiway Charlie for runway 27, rerouting clearance approved. So first acknowledge that I'm continuing taxing. Then same thing, rerouting clearance correction, rerouting to Kolkata approved. Standing by for departure clearance. Will hold short runway 27. Victor Tango, India, Golf, Quebec. Like this. That would have been a perfect readback. Wilco, some gap, rerouting approved, standing by for departure clearance, will report reaching, hold short runway 27. It was good. It was a very good readback. So overall, I see a lot of good things. Very happy to see that compared to the last calls. You easily get a 14 to 16 on this call. Minor errors. We can always fix the errors. So,
I'm not sure I understand. Is there something else I can help with?
not talking to you, Baba. Okay. Next question. Don't have to use rejoin. Understand there is a difference, a little bit of more situational awareness. If you say ETA or revised ETA with respect to which airport, major error done. Radial missing, no other issues, a very clean call. A good score over here, 14. Here, so a little bit of fumbling mayday. And not much of an issue. Just not a perfect call, I would say, but close to perfect. Emergency landing could have been used. Aircraft difficult to handle could have been used. But here, just priority landing. Good use of mentioning hospital flight again and again. That was nice. Line maintenance, I think, why suddenly you need line maintenance? You should think about evacuating passengers, especially when you only have 5 passengers. It's a hospital flight. So I really like the thinking where you change the number of passengers to 5 in your calls. So it was understood that you're carrying some important people. It's not a normal scheduled flight. That was something I liked. It's a good call. You had 14 easily. 14 to 16 will be the gap to being on the tougher side. We can say 14. So 14, and I think we can give 15 on the other one in the center. So Pooja, how much were you expecting?
Less than 43.
In percentage, how much were you expecting? कितना expect कर रहे थे? Pass, fail in terms of that?
इसके बारे में मैंने सोचा ही नहीं, बस मेरे को देना था कॉल, क्योंकि मेरी नर्वस हो जाती हूँ ना बीच बीच में एग्जाम में, इसलिए मैंने बोला कि मुझे ये प्रैक्टिस करनी है कॉल्स की।
Very good. 71.66%, 72%. A very good score. If we go with the max, or if we go with restricted like this, still we see students we are getting good scores. 75 and 80%. So good consistency overall, 72 to 80. Just keep up the hard work. Now you had some discussion of this paper before only. It helped you. Maybe you did it as a free or a fresh paper itself. Whatever
नहीं,
the
मैंने सुना सर, मैंने सुना नहीं था आपने क्या एक्सप्लेन कर रहा। मैं अपना जो पहले पेपर उनके साथ सॉल्व करा था ना, वैसे ही सॉल्व करा। मैंने कुछ देखा नहीं, कुछ सुना नहीं। बस मैंने एक आपसे डाउट जो कोलकाता कंट्रोल और अप्रोच में जो मुझे लगा था कि वो अप्रोच को जाएगा कॉल, इसलिए मैंने ये कहा, आपको बोला कि हाँ कि ये कोलकाता अप्रोच को जाएगा कॉल। ये डाउट था मुझे, बाकी मैंने कुछ सुना भी नहीं था, क्योंकि मैंने ईयरफोन निकाल के रखे थे। ये फ्रेश कॉल था, मैंने अपनी तरीके से ये करा।
Yeah, exactly what I was saying. Probably the feedback was in the call or whether you did it as a fresh call. What matters to us is that we can see a lot of originality and we see a lot of cleanliness in the calls. So good rate of speech also, good decisions made. So that is good thing. Students, see if anybody has any questions. Please talk. Sajal, what's on your mind? Pritam, Rani, what's going on through your minds? Are you satisfied now? Do you have any doubts?
Sir, bad weather information is given by ATC or dispatch?
Anyone would have informed you. You would have got it from METAR probably. But METAR is for aerodrome generally. So it doesn't matter. You are informed. It could be ATC, it could be dispatch. It could be a NOTAM issued to you. But the source is genuine. Source is genuine. We have to believe this information. You could make a call like this. Oh, Hyderabad Tower, I'm taxing it and I've received bad weather report. Confirm if it is true. You can always say that, with ATC. Confirm if Nagpur to Ottawa weather not good for flight. I just got an update. I can always confirm that with ATC. ATC will be like, yeah, we see a series of call and it's bad. So it'll be like, so what's the exact issue? Where is this thunderstorm located, or where is this storm located? Where is it coming from? So it will always give me more and more answers, more and more questions. Okay, it's coming from there. So probably I can take the route via Bhubaneswar. What do you think? Or is the bad weather coming from Bhubaneswar to Nagpur? Is the whole stretch gone? What do I do? So with respect to exams, they localize your bad weather in a way that you can always reroute. That is a good thing. In real life, for me, before I even choose to go to Bhubaneswar, I'll have to check if the bad weather movement is from Bhubaneswar to Nagpur. Is it from West Bengal? Is it from the west coast? This side. Generally, movement of air will not be happening in this side. Generally, from this side only, east to west only. Generally, in India, the movement is happening. So you're hoping probably the bad weather over Bhubaneswar, it doesn't exist, but the weather is going up, up, up. So after Nagpur, that weather will move to over Bhopal, maybe Delhi, maybe Kolkata. But probably it will not come to our Bhubaneswar. So all you need is information on many levels before you'll make a decision. Here, the exam questions are always to the point. They will show you that, okay, this is the only area that is impacted. So what will you do? Think. Rani, what's going on in your mind? Easy questions, difficult questions.
Yes, sir, I got the question today. And yeah, and they give very good call with perfection. And now I got the idea. And so mostly important important thing is like confidence.
Rightly said, I agree with you. Good. Zanvi, how are you feeling?
So the paper was easy. I would have done it. So I'm confident.
Nukul, how are you feeling?
So it was a good experience, but I have a doubt that in first question, if we are rerouting via Whiskey 41, Kamanpet, then Vishakhapatnam, Alpha 465, Kakad, and Legas way to Kolkata. But in second question, it told that we are inbound Bhubaneswar. So how will be in that? It might be we are in Whiskey 41. So I was confused in both routes.
See, confusion is very logical, but understand your VORs in and outbound will show you to the VOR from the VOR up to a certain point. Even though you're not directly going to the VOR, if the VOR that you're tuned is ahead of you, you'll still be inbound that VOR. And once you cross that, you will be outbound. So when we say we are abeam, in this case, the assumption made by the pilot position report is here and make it in green. Here, this is abeam, 90-degree, like this to my flight path. So when I'm abeam like this, my to and from indicator will not show me proper reading. It will flicker between to and from. Why? Because I'm on the point of changing from to from. But this viewer will be helping me for my navigation. It will act like an en route viewer or a flyby viewer for me. So in the exam, if the question is telling us you are over Bhubaneswar or maybe a few DME inbound, if my aircraft is here, even though I'm not going to Bhubaneswar, I am inbound Bhubaneswar. And if my aircraft reaches this point, although I am not coming directly out from Bhubaneswar, but still my aircraft senses it is on some radial like this. So you become outbound Bhubaneswar or inbound Bhubaneswar, irrespective of whether the route leads you in the aerodrome or outside of the aerodrome. Do you understand this, Nukul?
Affirm, sir. Victor Tango November Kilo Charlie.
But in question number 2, inbound, outbound is not mentioned. So where are you picking that from?
No, sir. In question 2 is there that Bhubaneswar. So I was thinking that we are in
Over
Whiskey
Bhubaneswar.
over
So,
Bhubaneswar.
yeah. So we are in the Bhubaneswar
That
area.
question paper is not in front of me. That's why I'm
No,
not.
no problem. Okay. Any more questions? Think about it. Sushita,
Negative.
how are you feeling? Victor Tango Sierra Sierra Mike.
Yes, sir. Sir, I had a doubt that replan is like if we say that we want rerouting clearance and we're asking for rerouting clearance, that means that we had a route and we are replanning a route for some reason. And rejoining would mean that, that we have flown that route on that route. Is that right, sir?
Rejoining will mean earlier we were on a route, but we had to deviate from that route. Now we have to rejoin that route. So rerouting will mean, yes, we have taken that route earlier in the same flight. Now we had deviated. Now we need to rejoin. And rerouting means completely changing your route via a new route. So that is rerouting clearance. So in this case, if your original route was cancelled, but you were given a new route, then that was your rerouting clearance for you. That was the route. If due to bad weather you deviate from that route and then rejoin the same route again, then for you, you will be rejoining that route. But from here now, if you're going to Golf 450, it's not rejoining Golf 450. It's just joining Golf 450 for you. You decide probably maybe because somebody told you that ahead of Bhubaneswar over Kakid and Charlie weather is bad, or maybe the traffic is too high. You just choose for any reason. Here you could come up with your own reasons, or you could simply say would like to proceed to Kolkata via Golf 450. Would join Golf 450 over Kinki, estimating Kinki time and flight level, estimating Jamshedpur, ETA Kolkata. Request. Here you can say rerouting again because you are rerouting again. You're rerouting, changing your routes and going to. So you can say request rerouting clearance to Kolkata via Golf 450. So this is something for both Jyotna, Pooja and everybody else to end. Here, instead of rejoining, you can say rerouting clearance to Kolkata via Golf 450. Good questions.
And sir, diversion would mean that maybe we had to go to the destination, but we are now going to our alternate or some other. If we don't have alternate, we're going to some other aerodrome. That
So,
would mean diversion.
yeah. So student deviation means, okay, let's say your this point where I'm touching the camera is my destination. So let's say I have to fly straight. So I leave off straight. I set my course straight. I go straight. Then I have some problem here. I take a detour, rejoin and come back. So this is called deviation. Let's say I cannot take the straight line. I'm going like this, like this, like this. So I'm deviated right now. But I want to come to you. As long as my destination is not changed, if I'm on route, I am on route. If I'm not on route, then I am on a deviated track or I've deviated from my route. Now let's say instead of coming to you, I go to the right of the screen. I change my destination. Then if my initial course was this, my destination is changed. It means I have to divert my flight to side of the screen. This is diversion. Diversion whenever you're changing your destination. Deviation when you are off track due to any reason. Rerouting when you are leaving your assigned track for a new track. So these are different words. When I say track, here it means ATS route. So Jyotsna Puja, you can add in your call, request rerouting clearance to Kolkata via call 450 like this. In the end, instead of saying permission or instead of saying request rejoining clearance, we're not rejoining. We never left it. Why to rejoin it? So you see, we can always fine tune our calls and we'll always have area and room of perfection in our calls. But remember, radial DME has to be said as much as we can. Route and flight level also has to be said as much as we can. Pooja, anything on your mind? Satisfied, not satisfied?
क्या नहीं मतलब हाँ थोड़े थोड़े ध्यान रखना चाहिए मुझे कि छोटे छोटे मिस्टेक में करती हूँ ना उस पे
I think it was a tremendous performance. Keep at it. Keep doing it. Whatever little areas of improvement you find, you pick them up and you'll see your scores will only increase and increase. Sajal, what's on your mind?
That I could find the solutions for the questions. I was able to get them.
Were your calls, your structuring similar to what I'm saying? Were you using
Yes,
the
sir.
right words? Are you thinking you are getting that ability to make perfect calls? Is it coming naturally to you yet? Or you're still thinking, no, I'm not sure what kind of calls I'm constructing?
Yes, sir. Like in first question one, I already rerouted by whiskey 4-1 before departing.
Already rerouted means you asked for clearance or you just said,
Sir, I
I'm
asked for clearance before departing.
good. Have you written the call? Read it out loud, Sajal, if you have written it.
Sir, I haven't framed it.
तो अभी बोल दो verbally. Don't write it, just speak it out.
Sir, 1 minute. Stand by.
प्रीतम रेडियल जो लिखा है आपने 242 रेडियल 242 आर स्पेस 242 जो आप लिख रहे हो ना, आप उसको ऐसे लिखो कि देखने में समझे हमने रेडियल लिखा। तो अगर आपको लगता है कि मेरे को लॉक कीपिंग को कैसे सुधारना है, तो ऐसे लिखोगे रेडियल 242। ये पास पास होना चाहिए पूरा, ऐसे नहीं लिख सकते हम, ऐसे नहीं लिख सकते। ये बहुत लंबा लंबा हो गया ना, बीच में कुछ किसी ने गलती से ऐसे कुछ लिख दिया तो हमारा नाम खराब हो जाएगा। ये हमने क्या लिखा, तो वो रखो। would like to divert left to Ottawa and continue on. What is the word after continue?
It's our
Our
Oscar
हटा दो
Alfa
वहां से
Romeo.
and continue to destination या to कोलकाता लिखो। Our हटा दो, our is हमें यूज नहीं करना। Via whiskey 49er Ottawa। whiskey 49er से आप ओटावा जा रहे हो, अच्छा। The question was telling you decide to go to destination via Golf 450. So you're planning to rejoin over Ottawa, okay? Whiskey 49er ओटावा कहाँ से जाओगे आप? डायरेक्ट?
नहीं, रेडियल 310 जो रूट है आपका, विस्की 49।
इनबाउंड भुवनेश्वर 05 DME एंड रेडियल 242। ओके 242 पे आप सब कौन से रूट पे हो आप वो भी मेंशन कर सकते हो। यहाँ पे वो एक मिसिंग है। Which route are you on? If you are on 4565 then it makes sense. If you are not on the route then where you are? Route नहीं लिखा आपने। To divert to Ottawa and continue to destination via 49er Ottawa Golf Jamshedpur request rerouting clearance via Golf 450। स्वीट कॉल। 2-3 एरर्स हैं वो फिक्स कर लो। एरर्स नहीं है, एरियाज ऑफ इम्प्रूवमेंट है। Sajal, I'm waiting for you.
Sir, should I read it? I have sent it to you.
You have to read it. I said give me a call. You don't have to write it. You have to give it to me verbally. Sajal, what? You said you're not return it. I said it's fine. You just give me a verbal call. You don't have to write it.
Hyderabad Tower, Victor Tango, Sierra Juliet Lima, on taxi with Charlie for runway 27. Receive bad weather warning over Nagpur till Ottawa. Would like to reroute to destination via Whiskey 41, Whiskey 29er, Alpha 465. Request rerouting clearance and taxi instructions.
Very good call. Very nice call. Taxi instructions. Further taxi बोल सकते हो आप अगर आपको कंटिन्यू करना है तो। रिक्वेस्ट टैक्सी इंस्ट्रक्शंस क्यों ऐड किया यहाँ पे? इतना अच्छा कॉल लिया। रिक्वेस्ट रीराउटिंग क्लियरेंस बोलना था सिर्फ। Why did you say request taxi instructions here? It's not needed because you've already said you're on taxi with Charlie for runway 27.
Roger.
So why did you mention request taxi instructions in the end?
Sir, can I add request further taxi instructions?
Further what? You are clear to go to up to runway 27. उसके आगे कहाँ जाओगे आप टैक्सी करके?
Right, sir.
You cannot ask for enter runway 27 right now. It's too soon. Further taxi कहाँ आपको दे तो दिया runway 27. उसके आगे कहाँ ही भेजेंगे आपको?
Right, sir.
So it doesn't make sense. Other than that, perfect call. You can say this much. Very good. You get good marks on this. 14 to 16 easily. Very good. Om, Prerit, Ayush, Sridhar, क्या चल रहा है? मस्त छुट्टी मना रहे हैं आप लोग, बैठे बैठे मस्त। तुम सो रहे हो, खा रहे हो, क्या कर रहे हो, कुछ पता ही नहीं मुझे। Everybody else is so geared up, I know. Even you must be, but you're not expected. You have the freedom. तुम तो मजे ले रहे होगे सब लोग। अरे उससे ये मिस्टेक, उससे वो मिस्टेक, तुम्हारा भी नंबर आएगा। कैसे फील हो रहा है?
Good, sir.
आयुष इज फीलिंग गुड। चलो ठीक है।
Learning, sir. Feeling good.
गुड गुड
यस सर, लर्निंग सर, फीलिंग गुड। वेट
गुड
कर रहे हैं कब
गुड
हमारा भी चांस आएगा।
गुड गुड। चांस आएगा और हम अच्छा करेंगे सब लोग। चलो ठीक है। यू ऑल स्टडी फॉर पार्ट 2, रीड पार्ट 2 मोर. Students who have their exams in a few days from now, do remind me about it. If you need anything that you think you will help you more, just drop me a message. Let me see what can be done. So if you think something will help you, then let me know. With respect to our schedule, so over the weekend, finalize your preparation. Part 2, discuss. You can tell me, sir, which all topics do I need to study? Part 1, if you need more data which you don't have, something that you are yet to receive, remind me about them. So these are the things that I need. What does it really take to clear RT exam? If you think about it, of course, practice, knowledge, learning, it's a combination of everything. Without one thing, the other thing becomes a little too difficult to achieve. Even after doing thorough preparation, many people will experience that they are not getting results. So how to guarantee our results? We can guarantee our results by working on all areas where mistakes are made. There are technical mistakes. When I say technical, it means not using words and phrases, not giving proper readback, using dead air, not using correction, fumbling, not having proper rate of speech. Then logical errors, not being situationally aware, not using call signs properly, not calling the right ATC, not listening to what they are saying, not giving proper readback. Then lack of experience related errors. Definitely that can happen with everyone when we face something that is new to us. If you give me an aircraft right now that doesn't have any indications in the language that I have trained, English, and if you give me an air traffic controller, but the panel is also not in English, and the ATCs are also not talking in English, and if you tell me to take off that plane, for me, although I have everything to be able to take off that particular aircraft, the language barrier could be an issue in safely taxiing the aircraft out till the runway or doing a takeoff and departure without any risk of collisions. It will be difficult. So for me, I require a combination of everything. I need somebody to brief me about this aircraft with respect to this nomenclature. I need somebody to brief me with keywords with respect to the ATC. And I need somebody to brief me with respect to all the alternates that I have, all the air traffic controllers that I'm going to get, the route. So my pre-flight briefing is always done with respect to such things. We generally take things for granted. Okay, Mumbai to Delhi, I've done it many times, I will do it. But you will always be subjected to a pre-flight briefing before Mumbai to Delhi. Even if you have to take that flight 2 days for the rest of your life, every day. Why? Because the weather can change, airports can change, traffic can change, regulations can change, and you need to be well versed with those things. In the examination, you don't have that much of training. But what you're required to do in the exam is something that a pilot would do who has had so much of training. So it becomes a tough job to clear RT exam, but it doesn't mean it is impossible. How do you make it possible? You are doing it right now. Comparing yourselves with where you were before you started, what your idea was with respect to the exams, to where you are and what are you trying to do. You think that you have become more of an aviator right now, not just a student. I'm thinking about things out of the box, not just direct questions to direct answers. I'm inducing the human element, human nature, human factors, which is very important for me. There have been petitions abroad where people are saying reduce the number of pilots to one. Then there are petitions abroad where they are saying privatize air traffic control. Then there are petitions to increase the functioning of autopilots. Although auto land is a very old feature, we don't use it. Automatic landing is a very old feature. We still don't use it. Why is nobody talking about using AI in your job? Because what makes your job safer is the human factors. Because a human mind is capable of coming with things that no programmer could program. Aviation is followed by this logic. In exams where you're doing your simulation checks for airlines, sim checks, the final round of your interviews, they check this. They check your ability to fly and control that plane on simulators, plus what kind of a human factor based decision are you making. Of course, in exams, they will simulate close to those situations that they have taught you in type rating, but not completely the same. They will give you something new. RT exam is a softer level of that simulation where you don't have to focus on the aircraft control. You only have to talk about intents. Your language has to be perfect. So it's all about the language. Less about the intent, more about the urgency in the language, the logic in the language. You feel mature, you feel confident because a pilot cannot fly without confidence. It requires thinking, it requires being aware, it requires to come into a very different mode when you are giving an answer to an RT exam. If you are not coming into that mode, if you're still into the same mode, then you still have to develop. Because I'm at my place very different compared to me being in a cockpit. I get into a different mode altogether. So these little things you are building right now with practice and self-study. If you think there is a gap between me really understanding what's happening and me performing in the exam, then talk about it. So that if we think we need to discuss this, then we can always, spare some extra time and talk and connect. Okay. I'm very happy with the way things are going on. Coming sessions, you will be experiencing 25-minute mocks, lengthier sessions, and you'll be looking to achieve more perfection. Now, because we are getting into the week, which is the decisive week for everyone, I would say we are going to get into a increased track of learning pace with respect to these lectures. So we'll be hoping that your base is developed by now so that you can manage to keep up that pace. So today, tomorrow, day after, you have time to revise everything, re evaluate your parking lot, your parking bay, check whatever is pending, what is not pending, check your areas of improvement, be very thorough with part one, and learn as much as you can and be ready for part two also. Monday, when we are having a session, let's say Preetham will be giving a mock. If Preetham is giving a mock, he might be subjected to a 25-minute mock plus a part two viva, irrespective of whether he clears his part one or not in the mock. That should not tell you that you can do a less than perfect part one and still be sent to part two. No, but that will be for our experience. Some of us might be subjected directly to part two viva. You need to be ready with whatever you have learned. You need some practice with part two also. I've seen students clear part one but not clear part two. I'm like, come on, part two has to be easier than part one. No matter where you study from, there are basic topics. At least I have given you notes now, at least study from there. Read rules of the air, read definitions. And again, if you need anything else, just drop me a message. If anything on urgent, pan. Anything that is not yet resolved, make a list and share so that we can do it on priority. Whatever you need, let me know. Follow instructions, and if instructions are not working for you, say, sir, I would like something else. Nicely. I know you might be in a panic mode, but don't let it get the best of your emotions. We need to be calm, right? Jyotsna, very happy with your performance. I would like to see the improvements. All those people who have had areas of improvement, I can sense you are improving. Now comes the final test. How are you doing on an exact experience? Pooja, very impressive. I could say it was one of your best performances till date. When I can say that it was one of your best performances till date, means you are in the right direction, students. You need to maintain that. Can you improve? Definitely, we all can improve. But what is more important is to maintain where we are right now and not let complacency deviate us from there. So wherever you all have gained your expertise, you need to maintain that and step by step climb little more by shedding off things that are not right for us. Not using words like requesting, not using words that are non-standard to aviation like permission and all should be avoided. Readback should be good. That's it. In the end, it all comes down to intention, which we become confident because everything else is confidence. The final thing comes in the last, our intents. So you'll always be relaxed about the intent aspect of your calls when everything else is perfected. Right now, if you're not confident about your intention aspect of questions, which is the key area where you do question papers because you think you don't know intent, it means before intent, a few more places are left for you to master. So if you think about it technically, you go with the instructions, areas of improvement, your result is guaranteed. See, it requires hard work. This is the code we need to break. So thank you for extending the class. Of course, you must have guessed this is it. We don't have any other part after the lunch break. Enjoy your lunch. Get on to with your final preps. I need to see a lot of text messages towards the end of the day with requests. And if no requests, then updates. But sir, I have no special requests as of now. But as of today, Friday, end of day, these are my updates. This is my date of exam. This is my confidence level. I need this clarity. Let's have this clarity on a daily basis. Let's have this goal. Let's be focused on this goal, no matter where we are in our lives. So when we are sparing time out for RT, let's say, okay, RT, we are doing it together. I'm doing it and I'm going to do it. So I'll take your leave, students. You know the drill. If you need anything else, you'll just message. If you need to talk, you can call. If call is unanswered, you drop a message. Sir, I had called. I would like to talk. Call me when free. Something like that. Chalo. I'll take your leave, students. If there's anything, you can talk. Otherwise, you can leave.
Thank you, sir. Victor Tango Romeo Bravo Victor.
Thank you, sir. Victor Tango Alpha Inc. Info.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
Victor Tango Sierra X Sierra.
Thank you, sir. Victor Tango, Sierra Juliet Lima.
Have a good day, sir. Victor Tango Delta Alpha, sir.
Jyotsna, are you there?
Afam, sir. Sir, I think we have missed it. I have missed it.
No, it's okay. We had written your marks. I think you were getting somewhere around 62, 63. It was a good score. But we can see that now you are coming to the right direction and the right track. We just need to fine tune and finesse it. And we need to see that little more confidence. This confidence, I got it in the later parts of the question. And I could see you wanted to do the right thing, but you were just struggling. So I think it will come. It will come to you. But were you facing any challenges, special challenges while doing it, or now you are clear? Like, what's the final takeaway from this?
So now I'm clear. But one thing I majorly face is it. Um, if ATC is not responding, then I thought it's a wrong call.
See, why are we thinking whether my call is right or wrong? Why am I not confident that I'm giving a right call? Do you understand the difference between these things?
Yes.
Now, where before giving a call as a student, we are worried what if my call is right or wrong. When we say what if, we are doubting it. And that doubt will take away the most important element of a call, which is our confidence. So firstly, we should stop thinking about it like this. Is my call right or wrong? You don't think about call. You think about what I'm doing right now. Is it right or wrong? I have to do the right thing. If when you're confident you're doing the right thing, your call will definitely automatically become correct. So that is the strategy here. So you don't worry about calls. You worry about right ATC, right structures, right rules. So you worry about something being right or wrong, not the call. The little things.
So like in third question, if my ATC was not correct, so the whole question was wrong, right?
See, how can I say whole question was wrong? You have spoken in RT. I have to judge you on RT. Right. So the whole question cannot be wrong. See, again, you're thinking right and wrong, right and wrong, right and wrong. You call the wrong ATC. You call the wrong ATC, probably your call will not be considered, but we have to still look for how you have constructed the call, right? So calling the wrong ATC is one error over here.
Okay.
Not entire error. You will lose a major marks, but you'll not get 0 over here.
Got it. Yes, sir.
So even after calling wrong ATC, if your call is better than perfect, then you tend to lose lesser marks. You understand? So here, whether you would have called the right ATC or wrong ATC, only that much of difference would have been there in the marks, maybe +4 or +2. Other than that, everything remains the same. So we have to talk about the entirety of the call. Why are we struggling to speak about it carefully? Why are we not correctly able to speak it is the point. So why are we struggling so much? Why are we going slow? We need confidence. Once the confidence comes, your calls are sounding a little faster also. So you always think, मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ, मैं क्या कर रही हूँ, मैं वो सही है कि गलत है, सही चीज करनी है. जब सही चीज समझ आ जाएगी, कॉल अपने आप सही हो जाएंगे. कॉल बहुत अच्छा था आपका, बस सुनने में एक फिनेस चाहिए हमें, और कुछ ज्यादा एरर नहीं है यहाँ पर. यहाँ पे भी स्ट्रक्चरिंग में थोड़ी इश्यू हो रही थी, और रिक्वेस्टिंग नहीं बोलना है हमें, रिक्वेस्ट बोलना. बट कहीं ना कहीं आप सही डायरेक्शन में थे, बस फाइनल वो कंफर्मेशन नहीं मिल रही थी कि मैं सही हूं कि नहीं हूं. बट आप धीरे धीरे, जैसे आपको ज्यादा टाइम मिल रहा था, आप ज्यादा सही डायरेक्शन में जा रहे थे. तो इसका मतलब ये है कि आपको थोड़ा और टाइम चाहिए बस. आप अगर वो टाइम ले लोगे तो आप कॉन्फिडेंट हो जाओगे अपनी चीज़ों के लिए। तो आप अपना सेफ स्पॉट देख लो। मेरा सेफ स्पॉट थोड़ा टाइम लेके आ रहा है तो मैं थोड़ा टाइम लेके करती हूँ, बट करेक्ट चीज़ करनी है मुझे, परफेक्ट चीज़ करनी है। तो कॉल लेने से पहले टाइम ले लो, कॉल देते वक्त टाइम मत लो। तो जो भी प्लानिंग करनी है पहले ही कर लो। तो कॉल देते वक्त क्या है, कॉल ज़्यादा स्लो नहीं रहेगा और काफ़ी अच्छा रहेगा।
affirm sir,
समझ आ रहा है मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ?
affirm sir, noted.
तुम कितना एक्सपेक्ट कर रही हो यहाँ पर?
नहीं sir, I was expecting 50% only.
कॉन्फिडेंटली बताओ। अच्छा था
50%.
ओवरऑल परफॉर्मेंस? डिसरिगार्ड प्रॉपरली यूज करने हैं, कैसे करोगे? भुवनेश्वर कंट्रोल विक्टर टैंगो इंडिया गोल्फ क्वेबेक डिसरिगार्ड, फिर चालू करोगे।
Affirm sir.
वाराणसी कंट्रोल, जिसको भी कॉल किया आपने, फिर विक्टर टैंगो इंडिया गोल्फ क्वेबेक। यहाँ पे ये क्लियर ऑफ वेदर एंड ऑल डालना ही नहीं था, हमने बस सोचा कि अभी यहाँ पे बैड वेदर नहीं है तो हम यहाँ पे ज्वाइन करेंगे। वेदर का क्लियर हुआ नहीं हुआ, वेदर डेविएशन नहीं था ये, तो हमें वो यहाँ नहीं डालना है। क्लियर ऑफ वेदर नहीं बोलना है, हमें बोलना है वुड लाइक टू रीराउट टू डेस्टिनेशन वाया गोल्फ 450, वुड लाइक टू जॉइन गोल्फ 450 फ्लाइंग डायरेक्ट ऑन ओटाबा और टू ओटाबा। तो यहाँ स्ट्रक्चरिंग में थोड़ी गड़बड़ थी, थिंकिंग सही जगह थी आपके। आपने बता दिया रीजॉइन नहीं बोलना है, फिर से मैंने बताया वहां पे। फिर छोटे छोटे एरर्स हमारे कॉल को परफेक्ट नहीं बना रहे हैं, बस कोई मेजर एरर नहीं है। सबसे बड़ी चीज है हमारी थिंकिंग सही जगह पे आ गई है। पहले हमें वो भी सही नहीं लग रही थी चीजें, डिपार्चर ही कैंसिल कर दिया। उस हिसाब से तो आपने सेकंड थर्ड बहुत अच्छे से लिया, और डिपार्चर कैंसिल भी आपने डिसरिगार्ड करके उसको फिक्स कर दिया था। सो यू आर गेटिंग देयर, यू जस्ट नीड मोर टाइम। आप रश मत करो, आपका स्वीट स्पॉट है नॉट रशिंग में। बट कॉल परफेक्ट हो, कॉल थोड़ा फास्ट बोलो, कॉल लेने से पहले और लेने के बाद टाइम ले लो, चलेगा। ऐसा है। अच्छा था हॉस्पिटल फ्लाइट बोला, रिक्वेस्ट रीराउटिंग क्लियरेंस, बाद में सही बोले आप रीराउटिंग क्लियरेंस। बट रिक्वेस्टिंग क्या है ये? रिक्वेस्टिंग रिक्वेस्टिंग किसने सिखाया? रिक्वेस्टिंग रिक्वेस्ट बोलना है, रिक्वेस्टिंग नहीं।
Request.
सो ओवरऑल अच्छा कॉल था ये। 12 आपको आराम से मिल जाएंगे, ज्यादा भी मिल सकते हैं यहाँ पे, 12 to 14 मिल सकते हैं। मैं तो स्ट्रिक्ट रह रहा हूँ यहाँ पे। एंड क्वेश्चन नंबर 1 पे पहले आपने किया, फिर प्रॉपर डिसरिगार्ड नहीं बोला, बट रीडबैक ठीक था। स्टैंडिंग बाय फॉर रीराउटिंग क्लियरेंस, ये एक्चुअली हाँ तुम्हारा ही है ना ये सारा। अच्छा था। कंटिन्यू टैक्सी, कंटिन्यू टैक्सी, रिक्लियर्ड, तुम्हें मैंने फिर रूट बताई पूरी पूरी। रिक्लियर्ड। क्वेश्चन नंबर 1, ऑल्टरनेट रूट फॉर डिपार्चर, थोड़ा गैप था बीच में। ये ऑल्टरनेट रूट फॉर डिपार्चर समझ नहीं आया। ऑल्टरनेट रूट आफ्टर डिपार्चर बोल सकते थे आप। फॉर डिपार्चर नहीं समझ आया। IFR हैदराबाद टू कोलकाता फ्लाइट लेवल। सर फ्लाइट लेवल ये जो लास्ट में चीजें ऐड कर रहे थे गैप, आप वर्ड्स के बीच में बहुत गैप ले रहे हो, वहां सबसे बड़ा अनकंफर्टेबल साउंड हो रहा है। सो गैप कम रखो वर्ड्स के बीच में आप बस। ये इन्फॉर्म बैड वेदर ऑन रूट नहीं भी बोलोगे, यहाँ चल जाता है। ऑब्वियस दिया यहाँ पे सिर्फ हैदराबाद टावर विक्टर टैंगो इंडिया गोल्फ किलो एंड टैक्सीवे चार्ली फॉर रनवे 27 ड्यू बैड वेदर ऑन रूट, would like to reroute to Hyderabad, correction, would like to reroute to Kolkata. Proposed routes Whiskey 41, Whiskey Alpha 465 to Kolkata, flight level 330. Would join Whiskey 41 over Kamanpet. Request rerouting clearance. Aircraft on taxiway Charlie for runway 27. See, there's so many different ways to do it. But even though I'm thinking and doing it, I'm trying to maintain a continuity. Focus on that. We have to have some sort of confidence here. It really gives us good marks. So that urgency we need. But here you say request cancel departure, disregard. Proper disregard I want again. Then you quickly thought about rerouting alternate route. Liked it. You get easily 12 to 14 on this. Being on the strict side, I'll give 12. But not many errors are there. Just how it is sounding. If you fix the sounding part, you can easily get 14 to 16, 14 to 16. And question number 3. Here, I don't know, your structuring was too lengthy. It's an emergency call. It has to be fixed. W1, addressing. W2, intention, condition. W3, intention. Mayday, mayday, mayday. Kolkata control. Victor Tango, India, Golf, Quebec. Passing flight level 150 for 70. Got a bird hit. Suspecting structural damage. Aircraft a bit difficult to control. Request immediate descent and arrival instructions for emergency landing at Kolkata Aerodrome. ETA Kolkata. So and so time. Hospital flight. Request. Emergency landing with precautions. Emergency medical services and firefighting services on arrival. This much. What did I use about my aircraft? Initially, I just said that I'm passing this for that. Here, request emergency medical services and firefighting services on arrival. Aircraft 30 DME outbound Jamshedpur, radial so and so, route so and so. In the end, I could have given that information. So I'd be on the lookout on my call when I'm ending. When I'm ending my call, I'd see what all information I had given, what is pending with respect to my position. And when I've given my intent and requested for assistance at landing, I just look at my call, what I missed. And accordingly, I get to know, okay, my radial DME had to be said again. I said and end with my call. Your call, if you see, is similar only. But what is this requesting again? Okay, we will avoid requesting. Request top of descent. Top of descent is your time estimate. Here you will start descent. And this is used only when you're descending from your cruise altitude. So here top of descent is not applicable. Request descent or request immediate descent on priority. So a little restructuring. Are you able to understand?
Affirm, sir.
Again, you get 12 because you didn't do any major errors. But you called wrong ATC, it could go to 10 to 12. If you have called the right ATC, it could have gone 12 to 14, like this. So don't assume what is right and wrong. You're not the examiner. You just do your job as a pilot. Am I learning? Am I using have I learned RT or not? Your question should be, मेरे को RT आया कि नहीं समझ में अभी तक? For you, it should be that only, whether I've learned RT or not. Because the exam, they're checking RT, language. What helps you make it easy is the perspective that you are actually flying as a pilot. तो वो आपके बेनिफिट में आनी चाहिए, आपको नर्वस नहीं करनी चाहिए. अगर वो आपको नर्वस कर रहे हैं तो आप कुछ और सोचो जो आपको हेल्प कर रहा है. But we need that confidence now.
Yes.
So 12, 12, 12, I get 36 out of 60. I get 60%, which is a very good score. Now we need to improve 60 to 65, 65 to 70, 75, 80 is what we need to target.
Yes, sir.
अभी पूजा के कॉल में अभी सेम क्वेश्चन पेपर है, थोड़ा क्लैरिटी भी आ गया होगा. इतना एफर्ट लिया उसने, फिर भी उसको 70, 74 आ रहे हैं. Why? Because the more better you get, the better you can become. So for her, it was a very good call. But if I have to spot a few mistakes, there will always be few mistakes. Slow and steady, you let go of all mistakes. So right now our task is to reduce our mistakes. That's it. With respect to that, 71 is a very good score. I'm very happy. Your score is also very
Yes.
good. In your score, what I'm expecting is the finesse, nothing else. Coming to the right conclusions in the first call and finesse. I think you can achieve both things by taking good time. Not while giving the call, but before the call.
Before the call.
While giving the call, it should be like कोई महान pilot उड़ा रहा है plane.
Yes, sir.
Chalo. Anything else?
Negative.
Chalo, do well. Let me know as instructed. Okay.
Affirm, sir.
Chalo.
Thank you, sir.
Most welcome.